I'm here with George Hawkins. George is the director of all our special events in Gatlinburg, which are so special to Gatlinburg. George, thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Tell us what's going on in special events. I know a couple have just been finished. Tell us about those, and then tell us about what's coming up in the future.
Well, let me bring you up to date on, I've got me a little list here, so don't forget anything, but we just finished our Taste of Autumn. It was at the convention center behind us over here. We had a great turnout. We had 40 restaurants, and every year we do the Taste of Autumn. So it's usually about the second or third week in September, so people can look for that and put that on their calendar every year.
So that's when people can come and they can actually experience a lot of the different restaurants at one place.
That's right. They can sample 40 restaurants. So where could you go and do something like that? And we have a silent auction, so that rolls around every year. It's one of our regular special events. Then we had the shark race, first time we've had a shark race.
Tell us about that.
It was little bitty sharks about like this. They're all numbered. We put about 10,000 in the river, and the first one across the finish line won a 2004 Hummer.
Wow.
And it was Mike Owenby from Sevierville, so that was exciting. So we've got another new event going, and the proceeds from both of these events go to the United Way.
About how much did you raise, George?
Well, we raised $45,000 from the shark race, and from the taste we did about 15,000.
That's great.
And then we have the proceeds from the hay rides, and then the city does a lunch, and the proceeds from that lunch, and everybody's invited, and it's going to be next month, go to the United Way. So,
that all goes to United Way.
Right. So
that's wonderful.
we're going to hit hopefully around $100,000 from the city of Gatlinburg this year, which is wonderful for a small town of 3,500 people.
Now, I know people really love to come to Gatlinburg when something special is happening. So what are the other special events coming up in the near future?
Well, the first thing we've got coming up is the Winterfest kickoff and the chili cook-off. We have about 5,000 people attend that. We have chili booths, 20 or 30 chili booths where you walk around, you buy a spoon, you go around and you get chili from each one of these events.
Okay.
Then you mark your ballot for the favorite chili. So we have awards, Best Apron Award, Best Booth Award. This year we're bringing some salsa on board. Now we're not having a salsa contest this year because we're just feeling the water and seeing, but we ate at La Coretta's today, and they're going to participate in the chili cook-off, and they're going to bring salsa and the cheese dip. So that's going to be a new thing, and hopefully next year we'll have our salsa contest going. We have the drifters and under the board wall.
Right.
And the Marvelettes that are both going to be entertaining. And to kick off the show between 6 and 6:30, we're asking you all to hold a candy cane that's got a gerb in the end of it, and you push a button and it's going to go off and ignite a big fireworks show. The fireworks show will be produced at Fun Mountain. So that's going to be a 7 to 10 minute show. So that's going to be the way that we're going to kick off our lighting here in Gatlinburg.
Is that going to be anything like last New Year's show?
This time a little smaller scale.
That was fabulous.
Yes. We're doing the New Year's show again, and it's a wonderful show. It's something that not many people have to offer because of that shaft. They can go up the shaft and they can get all their pyrotechnics wired in different ways and do different things. So that's what makes that so unique that people can't compete with. So we're giving everybody something different. And it also boosts nightly attendance in our motels because people want to sit out on their balconies and watch, well, from your place.
Sure.
They can sit up there and watch the show and sit in a hot tub and sip their champagne and toast in the new year.
And look at the beautiful
where else
fireworks.
In the United States could you do something like that? I think it's just wonderful. And then it's we'll synchronize that with the radio station and the music. So that's going to be another event that we try to improve on and add a little bit to each year. We have after the chili cook-off comes Veterans Day.
Okay.
So last year we had a wonderful Veterans Day program. We had a vintage flyover with some vintage airplanes that was timed perfect from the Tennessee Museum of Aviation. We had the GP band. we had a lot of, let's see, Walter State Community College, Carl Mays, a lot of different people. It was a wonderful program, and this year we've changed it a little bit to give the public something different every year. And we're also adding a nighttime program this year. It'll be, the daytime program will be at 11 o'clock on the 11th day at the 11th hour. And then the nighttime program will be at 7 o'clock at the First Methodist Church.
Okay.
That'll be a musical salute to our veterans. In case we get rained out in the morning, we've got that.
Okay.
But we'll have both programs if the weather's nice. So that's a new addition that we're coming up with. A new addition for next year is the Fine Arts Festival. It's going to be downtown. We're inviting artists from all across the United States to participate. This will be the third week in May. It'll be the same weekend that we host the Highland Games.
Okay.
So we'll have two groups that should complement each other at that time frame. And if you need more information on that, or have artist friends that would like to participate, call our office and we'll make sure they get an entry. And that number is 436-0500. After the Veterans Day, we've got the M&M Mars characters coming in, and we'll be visiting the Children's Hospital with those characters. You've been on that. We take a trolley, and the children just love the costume characters. The Crayola characters will be back this year, so we have two visits, and one will be with the Crayola characters again this year, and the city manager goes down. It's a wonderful thing, and they're both going to be here for the Christmas parade.
Good.
We're going to have a 12 o'clock autograph party on the steps of the convention center. We want everybody to bring their kids out and dress them in bright colored clothes, winter looking clothes, at 12 o'clock on December the 3rd. We have a huge giant sofa that's being made from Starbound Entertainment to put Santa in, and then the football players are going to lift the kids up and put them up there and sign autographs and give them candy from M&M. We have all those characters. We have all the characters that are going to be in the parade will be there at the 12 o'clock autograph signing. And it's a 1-hour program produced by WATE TV. This is on their on the road program that they're going to do live from Gatlinburg. So we want to encourage everybody right now to write down that date of December the 3rd at 12 noon.
Bring their kids out.
Bring the kids, and I know you got plenty of kids,
right,
so
right.
You just might as well mark your schedule off there. So you can bring your kids. The parade starts at 7:30. This year we're going to open the parade, which will be televised and rebroadcast on December the 18th, 1 week before Christmas. It will be opened with 1,000 cheerleaders, and it's a large convention that will be in our convention center. We approached them and asked them if they'd like to be part of the parade, and they were all excited. So they've worked up a cheer, the Gatlinburg cheer, and they're sending this on videotape to all their affiliates. So they'll all be practicing this cheer for television.
That's great.
So then we have the giant balloons that will be part of that presentation. Ginger Brown and all of her dancers will be there. So it'll be a Macy's type Hollywood opening in the mountains. So we're real happy to have all these talented entertainers that are going to be in the Christmas parade this year. And the theme is Christmas cheer. We're inviting all the cheerleaders from all the county schools to be part of it. We're going to put them on floats and have special vehicles for them. So that's going to be a lot of fun for all those little cheerleaders. And then it's also going to encourage a lot of the little biddies to come and see their idols, the cheerleader idols. So this is going to be really a parade for the gals this year.
And everybody loves a parade. And
we had such a good time during the 4th of July with the Titan cheerleaders. They really put on a good show. So that's when we realized how important cheerleading was, and we're tickled to death that they're coming back. We have different sponsors. Coca-Cola's a big sponsor of our events, and they will be sponsoring the television show. So any of the merchants that are watching this segment that would like to participate in the sponsorship of the Christmas parade, we were lucky enough to have all Gatlinburg sponsors last year for that 1 hour TV program.
Right.
They can call my office at 436-0500, and we will put them in touch with the advertising people with Channel 6.
So they can participate if they want to be a sponsor.
Yes.
Okay.
I really like the idea of Gatlinburg people being able to sponsor the whole Gatlinburg television
Very
program
positive.
for the Christmas parade. So that's all we've got going on, and I'm sure I probably left out something, but
It sounds like a lot, George. And getting back to the fireworks on New Year's Eve, that is something that you probably can't see anywhere else in this whole area.
No, and we usually do a little program. We'll last year the Hard Rock was not able to join us, but for the previous 2 years, they've sent their wait staff to do the YMCA dance.
Okay.
And their uniforms, and the crowd just went wild. So they informed me they had a problem last year, but this year they say they're going to do it. So we're going to try to add some more entertainment to the. It's really the roof of the arcade, not the roof of the Space Needle, but the roof of the arcade. And we try to produce about a 45-minute or an hour show with our DJs and giveaways to get people excited. The music's piped out to the street, and it's a family affair. 15 minutes till 12, you'll see this street is jam-packed with people coming out of their motel rooms and walking down to the Space Needle just for the show, and then they go right back. So it is a family affair, and we encourage people to bring their kids. There's no drinking, and we don't encourage that at all. So it's just fun for the entire
family fun.
Right.
George, thanks for being with us, and thanks for the improvements and all the new special events.
We're having a lot of fun.
Good deal. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. I'm here today with Stan Johnson. Stan is the treasurer of the Gatlinburg Gateway Foundation, and also with Terry Maddox. Terry is the director of the Great Smoky Mountain Association. Stan, Terry, thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here, Mike. It's hard to believe that this is the third annual GGF Holiday Gala. You sat across from me 3 years ago, and we taped the first interview, and here we are 3 years later, and it's really going strong and going very well.
Now, there's a couple purposes for the gala. It's the major fundraiser for the Gatlinburg Gateway Foundation, plus you have a chance to honor some association or some group in the community. Tell us about that and how that got started.
Well, that was the whole purpose of it, was to pick an honoree that should be recognized by the community for the work they do within the community. And we're especially pleased this year to have the Great Smoky Mountain Association, because a lot of people think of them, they think of all their work they do for the park. And as a member of the community, I realize that they do much more than that. They are a tremendous community contributor. And our community should be very proud to have them in our community and part of our community. So they're an honoree that we are very pleased to have. And yes, it is the largest fundraiser that we have for the GGF. But interesting enough that we will contribute half of the proceeds will go to the Great Smoky Mountain Association. So they can do with their good work, will be able to continue. So that's part of this whole process.
Terry, I know that you're very excited about your association being honored this year. Tell us a little bit about the Great Smoky Mountain Association.
Be glad to. Mike, as you know, we've been around a long time, since 1953. And a lot of people in the past have really assumed that we were part of the Park Service, because most of our staff works inside the national park. But we're an unusual nonprofit, about 55 employees these days, that operate the National Park bookstores and do a lot of publishing and design services for the Park Service on various publications, the park newspaper, many books, maps, hiking guides, just a whole array of different kind of products. And that's how we generate our revenue to support the park. We don't do it through fundraising. We do it through retail business and wholesale business activity. but it allows us to do good things for the visitor, but also to donate a lot of money back to the national park.
You mentioned the bookstores. Where are they? And tell us a little bit about each one of those, if you would.
We have bookstores, 3 major bookstores inside the park: at the Sugarlands Visitor Center, at the Cades Cove Visitor Center, and at the Econo-Lefty Visitor Center. We have a kind of a specialty bookstore at the Great Smoky Mountains Institute at Tremont, also inside the park. And then we have outside the park, we have locations, 2 in Gatlinburg, at the Gatlinburg Welcome Center on the Spur, and the Parkway Welcome Center down in front of traffic light number 3. We have a visitor center in Townsend, and we have a small store out at the Smokies Baseball Stadium. And of course, we also sell our products online, so we have an e-commerce site as well. And we have a very active program of wholesaling the publications that we produce to many of the local businesses. And that's really how everything comes together, and where the revenue comes from is all those locations.
You know, I know that the Great Smoky Mountain Association has partnered with other associations or other groups in the city. I know United Way, for one. Tell us about some of those and why you felt compelled to do this.
We have a really good graphic design staff that's tied in with our publications program, and we really feel like we're a community partner. I mean, we pick and choose things that seem to make sense, that help the national park, but also help our communities where our own employees live also. And we've done some things that relate to Gatlinburg or the in this case Sevier County. This year we did the graphic design work that you've seen on the recent shark race. One of our employees did all that design work for the posters and the tickets and the banners on the Hummer and all that we donated those services to United Way to help them have a successful year. We've done some of you know we did a couple of years ago the history tour brochure for the city of Gatlinburg.
Right.
We designed that brochure, did all the research, and donated those services to the city of Gatlinburg because it fit very well in our mission because it was about the history of the area. Even though it's outside the park, it's just outside the park, and Gatlinburg is the gateway community to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, so it seemed a logical thing to do. We're also working on, all this in the early stages right now, we're working on developing some wayside exhibits, some historical exhibits for the city of Gatlinburg that will start appearing in the next year. For the next 3 or 4 years, we're producing, I think, about a dozen panels that will be at different historic locations around town to showcase some of the history of Gatlinburg.
Well, Stan, sounds like you picked a real good
You can see why the Gatlinburg Gateway Foundation wants to honor the Great Smoky Mountain Association. They are very worthy of this, and we're extremely pleased to have them as our honoree.
So this is the 3rd annual gala. Tell us about it, the date, and the activities, and what the night's going to be like.
The date is December 14th, and it'll be held in the convention center. In the previous, it's always been held at Mills, but Mills is going under a little bit of renovation. And so it'll be held in the convention center on the 14th of December, starting at 6 o'clock. And it starts with a reception and a wonderful buffet of food that we have there. The ticket price is $100 per person. We have reception music by guitarist Tim Keller. And afterwards, the band, the Rocket, will be in full bore to everybody can lighten their feet that evening and so forth. And we have over 5,000 door prizes, $5,000 worth of door prizes, that will be given away that evening. Our gold sponsor this year, again, is Food City, and they're donating 52 weeks of groceries at $50 a week. So you can add that up real quick and tell that's a very, very nice gift. Our presenting sponsor this year is Citizens National Bank, and this is the first year that we've had a presenting sponsor. So we're very glad to build that association with another fine Gatlinburg institution.
You know, I looked at the gifts that you have for everyone that purchases a ticket, and that's incredible.
Well, we have, for the last couple of years, tried to provide something back just for coming to the event. And this year we have a gift for the ladies and a gift for the men. And Terry, you might want to expound a little bit on those. They kind of come out of your closet.
Yes, well, you know, since we operate national park bookstores, we do have access to very high quality gift items, things of interest that relate to the national park. Things that we produced ourselves or great gifts that we've found through our buyer. So we put together a nice package of things that relate to the area where we live and work that I think everybody will enjoy.
Stan, if someone wants to purchase tickets, where can they buy tickets?
Well, they can buy tickets at any of the local banks. And of course, all the board members of the Gatlinburg Gateway Foundation have tickets to sell. So that's where they can. And if they need a telephone number, you can use mine, 436-7484, and call me, and I'll see that you get a ticket. I'll personally deliver it to you. Our event, though, is we try to sell it out every year. This is an event where we really only have 200 tickets to sell.
That's what I was going to ask.
And it's been kind of our intent to keep this a very intimate event and enjoyed by the community itself. And so tickets they're worth getting early and making sure you have yours for this year.
And for the value of what you get for the ticket price is very, very good. And I know it's usually, on the second?
It's the second Tuesday normally of every December, and this year it falls on the 14th. And the value of the ticket is exceptional. Mm-hmm. And that's purposely done by the Gatlinburg Gateway Foundation. We wanted this to be an event where the people, the community, get together and enjoy each other and celebrate all the efforts of the volunteers throughout the city that year, and consequently we have tried very hard to keep the value in this particular event, and I think we've done so.
Yeah, if you would, for a few minutes, expound a little bit on the Gateway Foundation for any of the viewers that are not familiar with it and don't know what it is.
Well, the foundation work is basically the work of trying to get the community involved in their community. You know, a lot of us, it's very easy to depend on government to do everything. And needless to say, government plays a huge role in a role that cannot be done by the citizen itself. But the citizen can also provide a role in how a city is going to be shaped for its future. And what we encourage are volunteer action teams that take on specific projects throughout the community to better our community, to make sure that our community is going to be all that it can be for its citizens as well as its visitors. And that's basically what the GGF does.
Terry, from a park perspective, what's your take on the Gateway Foundation?
It's a great organization. As you know, both the park and the association and the Friends of the Smokies all have had an active role in the GGF since it was founded, because we have a tremendous interest in having the best gateway community to our national park that we could possibly have, and we saw this organization as providing that incentive, that excitement to maybe help make Gatlinburg all that it could possibly be as a gateway community. So we're very, very pleased to be involved, and we are actively involved in GGF.
Well, Stan and Terry, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to December 14th. It's going to be, I think, the best one yet.
I think so. Thank you, Mike.
That's great. Thanks, Mike.